Election Day is Tuesday, and in Cincinnati, a contentious mayoral race is in the spotlight. On the front page centerpiece, incumbent Mayor John Cranley and his opponent, current council member Yvette Simpson, are in the fight of their lives. On paper, Cranley should not be fighting for his political life. Under his leadership, the city has seen construction starts, job growth, and a stable credit outlook. And yet, fighting he is in his battle to defeat two-term Councilwoman Yvette Simpson. This race is not about different goals. Both candidates are Democrats. Both want to dramatically reduce poverty. Both want a better transit system. Both want more business investment. It's about temperament, identity, and how each would use the considerable power of the mayor's office to lead. Business Courier reporter Chris Wetterick has an in-depth look at the candidates along with the 9 city council seats up for grabs in this week's centerpiece. He joins Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer in the studio to talk about the race everyone is watching. Rob and Chris.
Peg, thanks. Thank you very much, Chris, for being here. We should tell everybody this is a commentary. This is a column that Chris wrote. This is not a straight, typical Courier cover story, so right. It doesn't, it allows you to sort of say some stuff. So let's talk about some of that stuff. Peg mentioned it, that this race, and you led with this in your column, on paper this race really shouldn't be as much of a race as it is. There are these issues, though, that have turned this into a race. Maybe you can just point out a few quickly, just a few big ones that you think for each candidate that are sort of turning this into a dog race.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a real dogfight, and it's not over. You know, last election we had the streetcar, we had the parking meter lease that really was the two central issues. This one, it seems to center around personality, right? These two, they really don't like each other too much, Rob. They're not real fans of each other. I don't think they'll be drinking a beer afterwards with each other. So that's the kind of race it's been. You know, the issues have been, there's all kinds of issues, right? So the mayor is really focused on Children's Hospital, the Children's Hospital vote that was cast back in the summer. And so he's really kind of hammered Simpson on this, and she has gradually, I think, but expressed the reason for her opposition and offering this motion at the end of that vote to basically try to get Children's to steer more money towards Avondale and investment in public housing, or not public housing, but investment in really housing overall.
Right.
So, you know, that's been one issue. Transportation has been another. There's been a lot of talk. They both agree that Metro needs a better, they need a better bus system. And in Cranley's case, he's offered up a sales tax proposal. In Simpson's case, she says, well, hold on. I want to look at the bus routes that we have today and see if they are optimal. These are the same routes that ran on the old streetcar system back in the 1920s. I want to make sure these are optimal routes before I consider further money for Metro. I don't think she's denying that they're going to need, or that she thinks that they need more investment, but it's something that's kind of been out there as well. So those, I think, are two of the bigger issues.
So they're both Democrats, but wildly different personalities.
Right.
How different would they govern? How different would a Mayor Simpson look from a Mayor Cranley, do you think? Or are they more similar than different?
There's interesting differences, I think. I think the mayor usually comes out with a plan. He has an idea. He develops with his staff and maybe a small group of people. When you listen to Simpson talk, she talks about maybe, I don't want to say more deliberative because it makes it sound like the mayor's not deliberative, and he is. But I think that she is more of a person who would say, all right, I'm going to start with the community and I'm going to see, what they want to do in a situation before I roll out my own plan. So I think that there's a little bit of a difference there. It's not that the mayor doesn't care what the community thinks, but he is a guy with ideas to begin with, and so is she. But I think that she is more likely to fine tune those, and I think that she would just frankly take a longer time to do stuff. Whereas Cranley is more and more, I have this idea, I have that idea, let's move to legislation and passage of that.
Right, more deliberative. Well, it's going to be, from everything we've heard, it should be close, although I'm not sure if you would agree with that, but
hard to tell.
Yeah.
I'm like one of the dissenters. I'm not sure it will be close. I think the fundamentals could swing pretty rapidly in one way or the other.
That's a good point.
But I don't know which way it'll go.
Right. Well, we'll find out Tuesday, and back to you, Peg.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. Voters will decide on Tuesday. Coming up.